Welcome to Omni Rewatch, the only Ben 10 podcast on the interwebs. My name's Ramen, that's ShadeX, that's Kinemations, and that's Professor Berg. How's it going, everybody? What's up, crew?
Hello.
Everyone, what's going on today?
Hello.
Oh my god, Kai is back. That's right, back from wherever she was. That's right. You know, Kai, when you're gone, we always say we miss you in every episode. You know that, right?
Yeah, you
we
told me.
I do.
Yeah. We love every crew member here. Today, we watched Season 2, Episode 2, The Big Tick. Not to be confused with The Tick, the cartoon character who is blue and goofy. I'm talking about an actual tick that's disgusting and bites and is gross. So, Berg, you want to read that description?
You got it. All right, then, everybody. So let's get here. So, during a trip to Yellowstone National Park, Ben discovers the 11th alien on the Omnitrix, Cannonball. At the same time, a meteor crashed nearby, released a giant tick-like alien called the Great One, and intends to devour Earth. The Great One turns out to be impervious to Ben's original 10 aliens. Ben quickly discovers that Cannonball is impervious from any attack when rolled into an armored ball, and penetrates the Great One's armor in that form, killing the alien from the inside. Omnitrix alien debuts, Cannonball.
Oh yeah.
The big boy.
The big boy. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about Cannonballs?
Yeah, thick boy.
You thick boy. Thoughts on Cannonballs? Shade?
He's
Kai,
perfect.
Berg?
He's a big unit. A big absolute unit.
He's a big unit.
He's a perfect boy and the only version of body positivity I will accept. Yeah.
Okay, that's right. That's awesome. He represents a lot of good chubby people. That's awesome.
He's cute, dude. He's fucking adorable.
I like him. I like that it's Ben, because you pointed this out, Kai. I like how it's Ben learning to use Cannonball. You see him like going through like trying to see what powers Cannonball has, and then it's essentially like baby's first Cannonball. You see him like trying to take steps while trying to roll into a ball. It's kind of adorable. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's adorable.
It's freaking adorable. Dude, like, this episode had fucking cult leaders that were obsessed with this giant tick monster. And it was, there were some gross out moments. Kai, how do you feel about this episode with the cult leaders and all that?
I like that it features my favorite boy, but I hate the gross out. I've never been a big fan of gross out in cartoons, and this one just had a lot. Like I compared it to pimple popping videos. That's what it felt like, and I hated it.
Feel like you're watching an animated Dr. Pimple Popper episode? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know what that is, and judging by the name, I don't think I want to.
What about you, Berg?
Dude, I'm gonna be honest, dude. I'm in that same boat. Like, okay, so for those who don't know, I mean, we already mentioned this in the previous episode, but I actually despise ticks. I don't usually mind a lot of bugs, or insects or arachnids or whatever you want to fucking call them. I'm just saying bugs. It's just the general term. So no one, please correct me in the no one correct me in the fucking comments. I don't really care.
It's an arachnid.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like. I just call whether they have 6 or 8 legs. I'm just gonna call them bugs as a general term. But I despise.
Wow, you're
ticks.
alienating our bug audience, Bird. You don't know how many bugs are listening to this podcast.
Oh, hey, all one of our bug audience, all 1% of our bug audience, we're sorry we're alienating.
I'm just imagining like a fly with tiny headphones on, listening to this.
Yeah, or in the nuclear fallout, someone's listening to a rad roach is listening to this episode.
They're in Chernobyl right now, or in Fukushima, and they're just like a bunch of roaches just listening on this. Like, hey, guys, being a total ass to my people.
Dear Omni Rewatch writers, who the hell do you think you are?
There's just a campaign to cancel us. This is what.
But I'll see.
Like, we need to protest outside their houses. I just go outside and go like, why is there a ton of bugs congregated on my car?
But no, seriousness, no. I despise ticks. I think ticks are disgusting creatures. I've had a few run-ins with them. Like, okay, funny story about me. It's a funny story here. So, one time I was in the woods. I kind of came out and I was on the toilet and out of nowhere, a thing just popped out of my shirt, and I was like, "What the hell is that thing?" And I think at first I thought it was a stink fly because stink bug. My mistake. It's like it's a stink bug because
again with the alienating our audience.
Then I see that it has extra. I'm like, oh my god, it's a tick. So I literally I take it off. It didn't suck me too much. Then I just flush it down the toilet. The second time, I was in the woods again. Feel something on my neck. Take it off.
It's a tick.
And I fucking haul ass. I am just like, no.
Have you been checked for Lyme disease yet?
I have not, but surprisingly, I'm still pretty good. This was like decades ago, so.
Okay.
I remember a long time ago.
Ticks, if you don't take off, like, basically, if you have a tick on you, you have to pinch off like a bit of your. Sorry, that was my dad. When you have ticks on you, you have to pinch off like your skin instead of just grabbing the bug.
Damn. No,
yeah, if the head breaks off, then that can increase your chance of getting Lyme disease.
Shit, I probably just I think I did.
Yeah, I don't know if I did that unless I got help from it. Because I remember when I was at a camp, a Christian camp, there was a tick on me on the back of my head. Jeez. I was like, wow, the back of my head sure hurts. The back of my neck. Then there was a tick on the back of my neck. Either a counselor took it off or I took it off, but I'm okay, so I don't think I need to worry about.
I usually have them on like my thighs or my calves whenever I do find them.
Yeah.
But I don't know, bugs just like that area of me because whenever I have mosquito bites, they're always on my legs too.
Really? Mosquito bites always like if I have open skin, it's just like basically it's mosquito. But basically back on topic. But yeah, no, I just hate it. Let's say hate this episode. It's weird because we already talked about the previous Buck episode with. God damn, that's like the only memorable thing about that was just Ben being fucking sick.
That episode sucked, bro. The only
the only good thing about the episode was which is Chill Blast. But aside from that, I actually like. Oh my god, I totally forgot that episode. But basically, this one is more memorable, but only because of the fucking gross outs.
I am noticing a pattern of like where whenever it is like an episode we all remember, we just like the one aspect that we remember of that episode, and the rest of it we're just like it's kind of either mid or kind of eh.
I'm gonna be real with you
like this one.
The thing is that because the threat seems to be a lot larger in this one, and because granted, I don't think the bug villain as they were painting him in that episode wasn't that big of a threat. This one's like world ending, like it's sucking the world dry and like shit like that. So like I'm gonna be real with you. Yeah, it's also introducing a new alien. I'm like really invested into it. Also these fucking cult leaders. So like there's a lot on the line, and like
yeah,
that's why I'm like invested in this episode rather than the other one. Yeah, but whoever was animating it really went really weird. because with the gross out and the tentacles and like
props to them for doing it well, but it's still gross.
Not really.
Yeah, the internet ruined.
This is like the one time I could say Ben actually saved the world here, like one of the few times, because he says he saved the world a lot, but most of the time it's like,
It's mostly just like local areas. It's like it's not really anything world-ending threats. It's just like I think one of the very few world-ending threats he did manage to stop was like Vilgax in season 1.
The tick was literally sucking out the fucking life.
No, definitely. No, this thing like again.
This is one of the episodes.
Yeah, like literally because it's like Shade earlier. He said like when he saw the aliens, like when he saw the tick, he's like, "Oh, it's like Galactus," and I'm like, "Oh, this actually is like Galactus." Shit.
I still think comparing it to the machine from Steven Universe the movie is.
Oh my god, that is so fun. Like, dude, you just it's an automatic version that's like just a life form version of that machine that's spitting out. It's just like, "You're going to kill all you." I'm like, "Bitch, why? You abandoned me. This is my mom."
Yeah. Welcome to Steven Universe, where all your problems are actually your mother's. She just
I think it's like that's literally. No, dude, that's literally. I'm gonna stop with fucking. It's like, dude, Steven Universe can be described as Steven Universe. The sins of the mother should not be are put onto the son. It's basically it.
I don't like. I feel like one of the reasons I still don't like the movie is because they try to play it off because so cool, like in terms of Steven, where he's like, "Yeah, that sounds like my mom." I'm like, dude, you were so like, "Oh, my mom was a hero," even to the end of the series. But now after the fan backlash, they're like, "Okay, we got to run with it."
Okay, dude, oh my god.
Speaking of running with it, let's talk about Grandpa Max's eating habits. We just saw this man eat.
Oh my god,
his entire episode's full of gross out. But I'm sorry, Burke. I'm sorry, Burke. I don't give a fuck. I don't like seeing this man eat a fucking worm is nasty.
Okay, so I'm gonna say is one, we kind of skipped over Shade when asking his thoughts on the episode, and two, I'll get to the Grandpa Max.
No, I know. I'm gonna get to Shade. I just have to change that. You know.
Fair enough. I understand. I apologize for that. But basically, so okay, I will say, you know what's funny about that part is because that's how they know it was disgusting, because Grandpa like, "Oh, he sees some worms under a bunch of logs." It's like, "Ooh, there's some protein right here," and the camera cuts away from him eating it.
And also what they mentioned earlier, where like when that thing landed, even Grandpa Max was like, "Oh damn, that smells rank." It's like, yeah, if Grandpa Max is saying, "Yo, shit stink," then yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah,
most definitely. He is like,
but yo,
that man.
He does share a porta pot. He does share a fucking RV with like 2 kids that fucking and that there's like 1 bathroom. So yeah, he knows what rank smells like. Yo, Shay, what's your thoughts on this episode? Like, cause I'm sorry if I didn't ask you.
There's a lot of gross out, but I enjoyed the cannonball stuff. The high stakes were pretty good.
Yeah.
Despite it being a really weird episode.
Bro, it's like a weird
gross
it's a lot of weird imagery in this episode that we had to pause on and talk. We paused on it for like 10 minutes and we were just talking about something that we can't talk about, or else I'm gonna have to mark this episode. I think I mark every episode of this podcast explicit just in case we get into like other topics, but like yeah. It definitely a lot of gross out stuff. But honestly, there's not really much to talk about. Like honestly, we never really had cult leaders fucking as villains.
I mean, I think there is.
Or not like we haven't
not
yet,
really.
But in Ultimate Alien, there is the final season has technically a cult.
That's what I'm about to say, because that's what I'm about to say. It's like there is
what's it called? Why am I blanking on the name? It's like the Cthulhu thing that they fight at the end of this series.
Oh yeah,
blanking on the name.
I was gonna say like Morningstar. Fucking my bad.
Nah, but no, I feel like again, this is just the early introduction. I think it's like I expected it from Ultimate Alien Force, but seeing it in the original Ben 10, that did catch me off surprise. That did caught me off.
That one was actually a Scientology parody.
This is a Scientology parody too, man. L. Ron Hubbard just rolling in his grave from this episode.
No. L. Ron Hubbard, like, okay, yeah, right. L. Ron Hubbard is, but the thing is, L. Ron Hubbard deserves to be rolling his grave. Oh crap, we're gonna get, and now the Church of Scientology is gonna go after us now.
Yeah, you know what? If they weren't going after us from the other bug episode, they're going after us now.
Now we can't have Tom Cruise on the podcast.
Oh man, we can't even get Tom Cruise on the podcast.
Definitely not now, but we never would anyway.
No, but so
well, you don't know Shade.
We'll just get Tiny Tom Cruise from Family Guy. I'm sure.
Oh my god!
But guy.
But all serious though, there are some people who you don't know who are Scientologists, and they're like, I'm like, get the church on here, and they're gonna gut your asses there. They're gonna ruin your lives.
Yep.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how powerful that fucking organization is.
Yeah, these fucking three are very powerful organization. I remember we were watching this, and then I was like, oh great, so they're cultist leaders, and then like 3 minutes and I'm like, yeah, they're definitely fucking cultist leaders. They're fucking praising a fucking entity that fucking sucks the life out of the fucking planet and shit like that. And honestly, I found it really funny, but like they're almost weird because they're asking Ben and Gwen and Grandpa Max to fucking give it a sponge bath. I'm like, why? They're sucking. Why does that thing need a sponge bath? It's
so that it gets encouraged.
What the? I don't know what that means.
So that it knows
I don't want to know.
Doing a good job.
That gets encouraged? No, that's
it's
gets encouraged. What do you mean? Say it for all the
not
explicit
elaborate
members.
any further.
Say it for all the explicit podcast members. Gets encouraged.
Best to keep it just not to explain too much.
Oh my god. But what I found funny was like Ben was transforming like to like I think every alien in this, and the three bad guys were. I feel like they were just watching him the entire time, and that has to be very awkward just to see him transform, because he has to wait 10 minutes for the watch to cool down. So just seeing him transform again and again, and they're just
they were just chilling.
They were like,
let's be on for like an hour, like over an hour or two. It's like, wait a minute, how long you guys have been standing there? It's like, I get that. About a good 2 hours. We just want to see where this was going.
I love to see the conversation. So you're telling me you transformed to a wild dog, a heat monster, a fucking 4-armed creature, and he's a ghost. The ghost one was stupid. The fuck was Ghost Freak gonna do?
You know, the funny thing is, Rip Jaws was more useful in that situation than Ghost Freak.
Fine, I'll give it to
my
Rip Jaws.
headcanon is that the reason that they just sat there and watched is because they knew that nothing would break it, and they just wanted a break from fighting Ben for a bit.
I like it. I seriously love your fan theories, dude. They actually make sense in universe.
But I found it very funny the moment Ben defeats it. Like they're like, oh, praise be the new DT, the new Lord, and then he transforms back into good. They're like, oh, you're just an underdeveloped prepubescent. I'm like, you guys knew he was a kid when you saw him transform like 10 times, and you forget that? You were there. He's like, it's just, they were gonna praise Cannonball, and they were gonna like make him a god. I would have loved to just see that an episode where the Cannonbolt's a god to fucking to these creatures.
I was low-key expecting it to end where like Ben wanted to keep them, but they like Grandpa Max and Gwen like shook their head no, like it wasn't worth it. So he just told them to go fuck off into the galaxy.
No.
See, that would have been that would have been a better ending, because that would have been funny, because it would have set up. I believe it would have set up a storyline for Alien Force, Ultimate Alien, where tales of Ben would just spread through the fucking galaxy, and he would just be. And then once he goes on a planet, he's just treated as a god.
Oh my god!
I think that would have been
like the year of our Lord.
But wouldn't Cannonbolt be the god, not Ben himself?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Speaking of which, we also talked about Cannonbolt's species. Like we were also having a talk of like how that worked out. Like for like
yes.
so
Arborian Palaroda.
Very thank you, because I completely forgot the name. So they actually explain in the series that they are a critically endangered species. Like they are almost extinct due to their planet blowing up. Though we have no idea if it happened before or during. They mention it in the episode where it's like usually like, oh, you seem like the last of your kind. And
for the sake of not making Azimuth seem like a complete asshole, I'm gonna say it happened later, because that would mean, like, if it happened beforehand, that would mean that Azimuth is like, oh, I got my hands on this extremely rare DNA for my watch, so I could probably revive the whole species right now if I felt like it.
Yeah.
Into the watch with you. It's just like, well, into the watch you go.
Yeah.
Like, so you also... Sorry, let's say, Ramen.
No, I was gonna talk about, like, because doesn't, like, when, like, Azimuth get, like, any DNA samples from an alien, like, the watch acts like a receiver, and, like, Azimuth can just transmit, like, the data into the watch, so
yeah, it depends on the version we're talking, because when Ben recreated the universe in Omniverse, it retconned Primus existing, so now we just don't know where the Omnitrix has its data.
Big.
By the way, looking at this, I kind of see. I posted a picture of Cannonbolt's species earlier. I know its name, but it's just I know you two, you and Ramen and Ty, you know it's named by heart. Me, I'm just like, man, I'm just gonna call it Cannonbolt. Yeah, it's gonna take me a while to actually learn it. That does, but it's. And I'm looking at the pictures I'm posting here. I'm like the female version from Omniverse. She got something going on right there. I'm like,
no, that is a child.
Son of a bitch. Okay, someone collect that. I did not fucking know that.
Yeah, I still don't. I think it would be cool if the different genders are different colors, but I don't think that's the case really, because Omniverse has shown that when it comes to like species accuracy or keeping with the color theme of a different version of Ben, they usually go with the color theme. Like, as you can see, Ben 23 is also blue, and he's a boy.
I see.
I think that Cannonbolts, like Arborian Palarodas, are usually yellow, because every other version we've seen is yellow. And nobody questions it.
Silver. I mean, there's the ultimate, which is silver, so that's also there as well.
The
this is a red one as well.
Extra armor, which is useful. Ramen.
Fuck off. Ultimate Cannonbolt sucks more than Ultimate Wild Mutt. I don't give a fuck.
What do you mean?
You heard me. I like Alberian Pelarodus as much as the next guy, but don't tell me that the ultimate
he
one
has
is
a
better.
Protected underbelly, and he was able to take on Agrigor. I want to see Ultimate Wild Mutt versus
God,
now.
Protective under he doesn't really need a protective underbelly.
Clearly he did. In this episode when they were shooting laser at him, he realized that his underbelly wasn't protected, so that's why he started using his arms, because only those parts of his body is protected.
Well, maybe Kai Cannonball takes it like a champ, okay? He can take a hit.
Well, clearly he couldn't, because he was using the shield anyway.
Kai, that's my goddamn son. You leave him alone.
I'm just imagining like Cannonball, like a tiny baby Cannonball watching us argue.
He's my son. Oh, no. You leave him alone, okay? He can take care of himself. Too. well, his ultimate is sucks.
Okay, the only thing I don't like about the ultimate, genuinely, is I don't like that. But like the spikes are only spiky when he's rolling around. When he's not rolling around, they're like dull. Like they're flattened out, and I don't like that, because I've been trying to think of how does that work.
Yeah, that's the. I don't like the spikes. I'm fine with the color change. I don't really like this. I don't like the fact that when they're not spiky, they look like fucking hammers attached to the shell.
Yeah,
that's essentially it.
It's not the worst design. I don't like the Omni it's not Omni Enhance. It's like Omni Kicks. The Omni Kicks one.
It is Omni.
No, the Omni Kicks. No, the Omni Enhanced is the one with the shock rock. Omni Kicks is the metal armor one. I don't like that one because it makes his arms look like turtle shells. Like, do you see it?
Yeah,
like
I see it. I see it. Yeah. Overall,
what's it is though? Did we talk about how badass Grandpa Max kept being in this episode?
Fuck, yes, he was. Fucking shell things. Like, he took the fucking armor from, like, the weird tick thing and he fucking used it as shields.
It was so fucking bad. And then it's like, one of the aliens like, oh, we can now commence the digestion. Digestion, he just fucking beats the shit out of him.
Dude, Grandpa Max was like fucking doing like some Jackie Chan type shit with them, like fucking while he's getting shot at, bro. And you know what? Gwen was there. I can't
She was there.
I mean, you know what? She helped. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, guys. Okay,
she contributed nothing.
We're season 2 of Ben 10, and there's times where Gwen does contribute, and this episode she's like there, and you know she's like making like witty remarks to Ben, and that's fine, you know, witty remarks, and some of it is okay, some of it's pretty funny, but like I don't fucking care, bro, if we get comments or whatever, but like, I'm sorry, Gwen is there until she gets her power, and then she becomes more of a useful asset to the team. At the end of the day, Grandpa Max fucking is the lethal protector, and he doesn't fucking have any powers, bro. This begs the question. Grandpa Max, I know he's I don't know if you guys want to agree with me with this, but I think they should have done this where Grandpa Max not only trains Ben, but he also trains Gwen in combat, because I agree. That will like, because in the episode The Truth, Grandpa Max is like, you guys are both plumbers, and I think me, Shade, and Geek were laughing at that because I'm like, you can't say Gwen's a plumber when you don't even train her. You're making her go into all these battles. You need to really, the writer should have at least said, let's train Gwen. Let's have Grandpa Max train Gwen with all of his experience. Gwen doesn't do anything, and that's one of the biggest problems with this show, is that until she gets her powers, there's no character progression. She doesn't really do much.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because it just leaves her basically complaining or saying like remarks or being basically kidnap bait. I'm not a fan of it either. I really think that they should have gone that route, but so far it's just been like, yeah, good job, Ben, and then you just see Gwen struggling, and Grandpa Max is like, Gwen, good hustle.
Yeah,
you're doing good too, I guess.
How do you feel about this, Burr? Because do you agree that remember we were watching the episode and Grandpa Max is like to Ben and Gwen, you guys are both plumbers. You think the writer should have at least have Grandpa Max train Gwen as well as Ben?
I agree. Like, I feel like I definitely agree there, because let's be honest here, Gwen, even though she doesn't have her powers yet, she is part of the crew, so she has to find a way to take care of herself. Because there are going to be times where Ben's not going to be available. Same thing with Grandpa Max. She's got nothing to fucking fend for herself.
Exactly. Like, there's times where, and I know this episode is very like, because we're focusing on both Cannonball thing, but then Grandpa Max, but like at the end of the day, it's a trio, and like I feel like the trio needs to be. It feels like the trio is like Ben and Grandpa Max, and in Gwen's there, a little bit of witty remarks, a little bit of banter, but I'm like, and there's times
or exposition,
and there's times where Gwen is like there, but then there's times where, like the last episode that we watched, where she's just complaining the entire time, and I'm like, it really doesn't make me like the character. In this one, I'm like, she's fine, but she's not Grandpa Max doing fucking backflips and fucking using fucking tick shells as fucking shields, and bro. So yeah.
One of the best ways they could have solved this is, so in Alien Force they established that she's taken gymnastics, cotillion, and kung fu or karate, which martial arts.
Kind of martial arts.
I think they should have mentioned that she's taken those since childhood, So then in this series, she could do like more gymnastics and fighting in that regard, because it would make more sense.
It would have. I think it's just. I think it does, but I think it's more. I think we're just looking at hindsight now because I think this is the early war, and I think they were trying to figure it out. Like, if they were to do like, God forbid, another Ben 10 reboot, I really hope they would incorporate that. But I think at the time, I'm willing to be a little bit more forgiving since at the time they didn't quite know what to do with Gwen then.
So, because before we talk about like our MVPs, I do want to touch them a little bit more on the Gwen thing. In the reboot, one thing I would say about the reboot version of Gwen, which I like more than the OG one, I like OG Gwen is great. She's fine, but like I feel like after I finish watching like the reboot one, I like the reboot one because the reboot one, Gwen's a little bit more supportive. She's more outgoing with Ben's shenanigans. She's like willing to get into trouble with him, and like she acts like a kid. She acts like a kid. She has her moments where she cares for Ben. Like the reboot's not all just nonsense. Like they have her participate in a lot of the side missions that Ben does go on, and it makes her feel a lot more in the reboot. Gwen's a lot better in the reboot than Grandpa Max, which is weird how Grandpa Max is better in the original series than he is in the reboot.
Bro, in the reboot they select all that guiltness, my dude. Yeah. It's like he is like, man, bro is like,
he's like a beta.
Oh my god.
He's Caillou's dad.
Dude. No, here's the thing. He's the one I would even top him. Like there is just no sexiness to that man. I'm like, no, you are not him. You will never be him.
How dare you stand where he wants to?
Because when I watch fucking reboot Grandpa Max, he reminds me of fucking the man in the yellow hat from The Curious George, where he's like, giving George advice, but like at the end of the day, like you're doing your job, but it's like, you know, you're just there to make sure George doesn't get in trouble. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's Grandpa Max is good in the original, and Gwen is stronger in the reboot. But like,
if there was like a good mixture, there would be an ultimate team right there.
Yeah, and I wish in the original they have Gwen be more willing to just participate in all the shenanigans. But like, I know the original is just there's a lot of stakes and stuff. And as it goes on, there's like more stakes and stuff. So I see, but like, I wish she wasn't so snotty, bro. It's just she acts very, very bratty. Yeah, it gets on my nerves.
She's a negative Nancy. It pisses me off.
For real, bro. I want more positivity. I want her to act more like a fucking child, bro.
I'm just thinking about the like Cartman audio where it's like, why am I here?
Why am I here? But let's rank the aliens, and because every alien appeared in this episode, where I'm not even gonna like pull out the chart. I'm not even gonna pull out, but the four main aliens that we had were like, fucking cannonball forearms. But like at the end of the day, I'm not counting that. So whatever. Let's start with Shade. What alien do you think? Every alien appeared in this episode besides Gray Matter. What alien do you think had its moments?
Cannonball, definitely. Stinkfly for a bit when he was fighting off the other aliens.
Ooh, Stinkfly was a badass, bro. I'm fucking gonna say this.
Yeah. He was great in this episode. You don't really get a lot of Stinkfly highlights.
No, we don't.
This is definitely one of them.
That's one of the moments. And an episode where it's like gross out. You know, Stinkfly would have been good in that bug episode, but an episode where there's like gross out, like this one's a good one for Stinkfly. So like, yeah, that was a good pick, Shade. Kai, Simon Cowell,
Cannonbolt. It's basic, but I love him. This is his first appearance, and I really love the design of OG Cannonbolt. It's probably my favorite. Like, it's the most detailed. I just love his overall design, and I love the whole power he has. And my favorite detail about it is that technically that's not even what the original species does. Arborian Pelerodons do not do what Ben does. They usually just hide. They just roll up and stay there.
Yeah, Ben uses it more as a weapon, which is not what Azimuth intended for the Watch. Like, the aliens are not even meant to be used as those weapons, but Ben uses the aliens as more of a defensive measure, which is why he's the perfect person to have the Watch. He thinks outside the box, and I fucking admire that about that's why I love Cannonbolt. She's still fucking best, yeah. Ben uses him really well. But what about you, Mr. Burgess? Mr. Professor Burgess?
Great, use my fucking real last name.
Oh, anyway. The government, the cultists are coming after us. I'm sorry, Bert.
This is why I changed my last name to Animation.
Right. So anyway, but yeah, no, I am.
If I ever get fan base, we'll just say "Dear Miss Animation."
But in all seriousness, I have to give it the Cannonball. It's obvious. I mean, this is his episode. He's the one who's got to go by. I do like the fact that you mentioned before that Ben actually used to think outside the box. He was actually he says, okay, I can't beat this guy on the outside, so I gotta go inside one of his disgusting holes and destroy his entire body. Which, by the way, you see this thing's fucking organs. You see everything in this.
Yeah.
And it's just
Cannonbolt. Yeah, Cannonbolt just killed him. Damn.
Yeah. No, for real, he really does.
He punctured his heart. He punctured the alien's heart.
Oh,
just
man,
punctured it.
And it wasn't even censored. They really just show the heart just being punctured, the lungs, the rib cage. Actually, I didn't know ticks had fucking ribs. I thought they were invertebrates. They don't have a backbone. Here we are.
It's an alien tick.
Fair enough.
They don't have to be accurate.
Fucking Cannibal fucking Ben did a fucking Mortal Kombat X-ray fatality.
He really did.
Yeah, fatality. He really did.
Yeah. I'll be honest here, I still gotta give it to Stinkfly as well, because Stinkfly really did, because he was kicking ass until, of course, the Watch times out. And that being said, when Ben when Ben transforms back from Stinkfly to human form, he knocks one of the aliens off his hoverboard and starts using that thing and I'm thought the alien was gonna die, but then I remember, oh wait, this is a kid's show, never mind.
As a 10-year-old, I couldn't even ride a bike. This man's riding a fucking hoverboard.
No, we for real. Name the aliens, because they're never given names. I'm just saying, the one that fell, I think he strikes me as a Herman.
Fuck you! That's a...
Herman was talking to the tick and shit. It's the great one says
that's we Herman need right there, man.
He's the almighty Herman. They all look like
Herman. The big brute one. He strikes me as a Gus. That's a Gus right there.
Who actually looks like Stinkfly. There's I had a theory about that one, by the way.
Oh yeah, I think that it's a sister species,
a subspecies. You think?
Yeah, not sister. Once it's a subspecies, it's kind of like how humans and chimpanzees share a similar DNA, but we're different. It's kind of like that kind of thing right there.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's probably what she was referring to right there.
Kai,
but yeah,
you keep giving these stop giving these things names. We're gonna grow a cat.
No, I gotta give the leader a name. I gotta give the leader. You know what? His name is Alvin.
The leader? Weren't they all the leader?
No. The really tall fucker, that was the leader, and his name is Alvin.
Okay, Kai.
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
You gave everyone a good name, but you gave the tall one Alvin. He doesn't strike me as an Alvin.
You have such a big problem with it, you name him.
At this point, why don't you just call them the Alvin and the Chipmunks? Because he's just naming half the fucking cast.
Maybe one third. It's your job now. You gotta name the last one. You gotta do it.
I don't know, Alvin.
You gotta do it.
I don't know. I'll just take Alvin.
Oh, I thought it was a bad name.
It is.
Yeah, so we got Alvin, Gus, and Herman. Hermie for short.
I'm sorry, but they're all Hermans. There's no one Herman. They're all fucking Hermans.
They're the Herman hive mind.
The Herman hive mind, yes. Guys, you have a name.
Herman.
The Herman hive minds. I don't think they didn't even give these fuckers names. But anyway, let's rank this episode because we got on for 40 minutes. Pretty good episode. So let's rank it 1 out of 10 Iberian Pelorotis. That's Cannonbolt's species name. 1 out of 10 Cannonbolt. Shade, what do you rank this up?
I guess a 6. It was pretty good. I mean, despite the gross out, like the stakes were high. But yeah, the gross out wasn't good to look at. But it was still a fun episode, more memorable than the bugs episode. The other one, the sick episode.
There's going to be people coming after us because we hate some of these episodes. But like, yeah.
I don't think it's
and rewatching things. You don't always share the same opinion.
Yeah, true.
But I don't think there's anyone trying to defend what's his name? Clancy? What's his fucking name again?
I think it is Clancy. Yes, it is. It's Clancy Burke. Well, that's why we can't remember his fucking name.
No, I don't think there's anyone. I don't think there's anyone defending Clancy, dude.
You guys want to defend?
Nah, did you know that there's like actual like subreddits just based off of bent aliens? Like, there's the Church of Fast Track.
I'm gonna join that church.
So yeah, it's just like all fast track appreciation, and I love it. But yeah, now we got to make the Church of Clancy.
I don't know, man. The Church of Hermans sound pretty cool. I mean, they like ticks. That's like their only problem. But like, I feel like the Hive Herman minds can really be a great asset. Anyway,
I'm just imagining a room of all the Hermans, and they're just like, Herman? Yeah, what's up, Herman? And it's just like, we tried to get the shirts so that we could recruit people. I wanted it to say I love ticks, but I think there was some error, and I'm looking at the t-shirts now, and I think there's a small spelling mistake. And it's just like,
Herman, you can't spell.
What is implied?
Herman, for the last time, you can't spell.
He's like, well, Herman should have done it. He has 4 eyes.
Okay, Kai. 1 out of 10 Hermans. What do you rank this episode?
You know what? There's 3 Hermans in the episode, so it's gonna be 3.
You are a Berg.
One
hold me
for
back.
each Herman.
Hold me back, Berg. Hold me back.
Nah, I'm just doing that. I was just fucking with you.
3 Hermans.
That was just me gauging a reaction from Ramen. Okay.
Give respect to. Oh, you were doing that. Well, you won.
That was a bit.
You won.
Okay, genuinely, I don't think you're gonna like this one either. It's a 6.
I mean, like
did.
Yeah, Shade.
I mean, it's
Shade give a shit. Yeah, I was fine with that.
You know, 5.5 because I have.
Okay, now you're doing that. Now you're really doing that.
No. I said it was a 6 or 5. So whenever I say that, it's usually like I go in between.
No, that's 5 or 6 is like a pretty good like score. I don't think I would go above like a 8 or like a 10. So,
hell no.
But like,
my reasoning is like what we talked about earlier. Despite how we remember these episodes as so iconic, but then when we actually get into it, it's just these one aspects of the episode that we remember so fondly, and the rest of it's kind of basic. So like with the other bug episode where we like the first thing we remember when watching this was like we were like, oh, we can't wait to see like sick heat blast and freeze everything. But then the rest of the episode's kind of
Yeah.
So it felt the same with this. I remember this episode pretty well, but it's mainly for Cannonball and because he's like one of my favorites.
I don't. I honestly just remember Cannonball's introduction. I forgot about the tick thing. So
yeah, and then also one thing that although the stakes are very high technically, it doesn't feel like it. This just feels like any other run-of-the-mill episode. Like, yes.
Oh yeah, true. Because there's no civilians. There's no civilians. It's just Ben and.
Hey man, the budget was too.
It dealt with like a level of levity, so that's why it doesn't really feel like it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, you are right on that in that regard. Like, you do see the Earth get drained or whatever, but they should have shown like civilians like
that
getting.
That would actually been better. You think they were probably?
They could.
Maybe that was cut.
Like, you remember the hypothetical I ran where it's like, what if it just cut to like a farmer and we just saw their crops slowly like draining?
I think that would have
probably been a good way.
That would be scary as fuck, man.
Oh my god, yeah. That actually is a good point. Like, why was they should have just shown civilians and stuff like that? Yeah.
I'm just imagining like a gardener see their entire crop die and they're like, I'm so fired.
Like, no, forget the fire part. It's like, dude, I'm gonna fucking starve.
Man. I wonder if I can eat a giant armadillo.
Actually, fun fact, you can eat a giant armadillo. Actually, fun fact, giant armadillos do exist. And you can possibly eat them.
I'd eat an
armadillo. No, really. Yeah, no, I kid you not, there's actually a species of armadillo called giant armadillos. They're native to South America. Hold on. I'm gonna say what they look like.
I'm going to Berg's house for Thanksgiving for that giant armadillo.
Dude, I am not
if I'm just saying, hypothetically, if we obtain an armadillo, put it in my hands, I can cook it. I'm a good cook.
Dude, I'll tell you this. When my grandpa was in the army, he found his arm when he was in his desert base, and he beat the shit out of his armadillo.
When my grandpa was in the army, he told me that he ate a dog before.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I would eat a dog.
By the way, this is what giant armadillos look like.
Aww, I'd still eat it.
Of course.
I've said this before. I would eat a dog. I would eat a dog while looking at my dog.
They're also endangered, so I wouldn't recommend it.
Looking at these giant armadillos, what would you rank this episode? 1 out of 10 giant armadillos.
Honestly, I'm gonna go in the same ballpark. I'm gonna give it around like I want to say 5 or 6. It's just look, I love the cannonball. Here he's a thick boy, cute. He's a very iconic alien. Holy fuck, this episode, and also this episode was just disgusting as all fuck, dude. I am like, this was just like, the thing is, there was a lot of good things. Like, I did kind of like the aliens. Of course, Grandpa Max kicking ass as always. There's a lot of good stuff here in this episode, but oh god, that fucking, like, I don't know why, that was just disgusting. It was just so gross. Yeah. This was just unnecessarily gross. Like, this was just not needed. I gotta go, and I think that's the reason why a lot of people only remember cannonballs, but don't remember everything else. They just kind of repressed everything that just kind of came from this episode.
And you know what? I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna say this is also a 6. Like, there's some good moments of Cannonbolt and Grandpa Max and stuff like that, but I think there's a reason why I only remember the Cannonbolt stuff, and that is because while the tick thing is cool, I don't. It's just a lot of gross ass shit. Like, there's time. It almost feels like a nightmare I had. That's why this episode, the colors almost feel very like. I hate to bitch about art, but like, I prefer like episodes where like it's a little bit more like brighter and more open. This feels this feels very.
The colors here they're very muted.
They're very muted. Yeah, it almost feels like I'm sick at home and I'm watching this. If I was sick and I was watching this episode, I'd fucking throw up. I'm sorry.
I would feel the same way as well. Like, I would definitely do that. I would definitely feel you there. I mean, that is just not.
Older Ben 10 episodes kind of had, like, I still like the color scheme of the first series. I don't like Alien Force or Ultimate Alien's color scheme at all. If I'm being honest, it's too dark, and I know that that's the tone, but it like became so hard to see in certain scenes.
I feel you though. I definitely feel you.
Yeah. And
By the way, just back on the armadillo thing. So there was even a bigger armadillo that actually lived on this earth, but it's actually extinct now.
Is it because everybody ate them?
Actually, you're not far off actually from that. You're not actually far off from that theory. That's actually what happened. Like the native humans actually just ate they ate them and used their shells for homes.
Man, homie looking shell shocked.
I'm just thinking, have you ever seen Emperor's New Groove and like the diner scene?
Yeah. Yes.
That's what it makes me think of, where they're like, you can open that and then he just like taps the top of it and like this armadillo thing just unfurls.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And Ron about to eat this fucking thing.
With that being hungry for some armadillo, this has been another episode of Omni Rewatch. This one's been a longie. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on Spotify, do what you gotta do, and also go follow ShadeX, Kai, and Berg on Twitter, anywhere else. I hope you've been liking this content on this second channel. We really do enjoy making this podcast for you. So leave a comment if you can, or don't, because we don't get much comments on here. So with that,
I am 15 away from 100 Twitter followers, please.
Please go support Kai. Also buy our merch. Imagine we have merch. We don't have merch, y'all. I just wish
not yet.
I wish we did, so I can say that, because I've always wanted to say that. But with that, go gadget. What the fuck was I gonna say? Thanks for watching the Omni Rewatch podcast. You have a great night, Omni heads. Bye bye.
Bye now.